My fellow Chuds, I would like to personally congratulate everyone on another flawless, dominant victory. That's right, Operation Dead on Arrival worked perfectly because, as well, everyone in the legacy media and stupid Vogue developers are gonna tell everyone else, we have this magical ability to make games suddenly magically bad for no reason. Yes, not only are we Chuds, but we are Chud wizards. We are evolving with tremendous pace. That is insane. In any case, Highguard is dead, and the developers, needless to say, are obviously resorting to the well and truly established 100% working tactics of blame the gamers and players for being evil and politically not on your side. Because obviously that has worked so well for literally every... They never learn! They just never learn! Why do these people have the same rights as you and me? They clearly are demonstrating the inability to learn and grow. And yet, for some reason, they are the same as us? What the hell is this? This does not seem right in the slightest.
One day, developers will have to go back to taking accountability when their products fail, but that day isn't today. And so, instead of admitting Highguard just didn't resonate with players and it wasn't good, the Wildlight Entertainment CEO is saying toxicity is the reason why this game has faced so many problems, and that maybe
It's okay. It's on its way back on the greatness, okay? They have a 1 year's worth of content already ready, okay? That was a stupid sentence. In any case, listen, they didn't release a game, but 1 year's worth of not a bad game's content is surely the difference maker, okay, boys? I choose to believe. I am one of those people who just closes my eyes, opens my mouth, and just absorbs the slop tube, okay? That's how I like to live my life.
skipping the Game Awards would have improved the reception as their player counts are crashing. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and
Like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. Takes less than a second, and it really does help out my channel, and I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone who does it. I know. I don't say it enough, but thank you. Your support just through literally liking is massive. It does make a difference. And if you think the stuff that we talk about here is important, or you're having a good time, then definitely like and subscribe right now. Takes less than a second. Thank you, everyone.
consider supporting hard work and effort into something you want it to be good, but sometimes you need to just take a step back from social media.
These people understand hard work as diversity, and not actual diversity, but just make a couple of characters black and call it a day, and make sure that the idea, the concept of white being evil is visible and feelable.
And then come back to the internet and admit your problems. Admit, you know what? We initially thought this was going to work, that people were going to like this, but it didn't resonate with people, and that's perfectly fine. We'll try again, or hey, we're going to keep this game alive for a while and try to update it. At least come out swinging with respect, but instead, they come out swinging with hate and malice, and toxicity is challenging, they say, even though they are the ones who put themselves into this position.
You know what we haven't seen in a while, by the way, boys? My favorite genre of disaster. And that is toxic positivity. My god, every single time there has been something that gets destroyed because of toxic positivity, it's the most hilarious thing. And it's been a while since we have had something like that. Honestly, the last one was Concord. That game was the complete embodiment, the epiphany of the endgame toxic positivity, because anyone who said it wasn't the best thing ever got fired. We haven't seen that in a while. Man, I wonder when the next toxic positive game comes out. It's gonna be great.
Yes, I get that when you show off your game at an event like the Game Awards, millions and millions of people are laying their eyes on it. But first of all, you still paid for a spot. Even though you didn't pay for the main spot, you still paid probably $1 million for that trailer to be highlighted. But second of all, okay, you should have just made a better game. You haven't been listening.
True and real. The delusion that this game would have done better if it wasn't at the Game Awards biggest spot is kind of completely insane. I'm not gonna lie, boys. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's complete whack that some people believe that this game would have done better. No, it would have died. It would have died not in 4 hours. It would have died in 1 hour if it wasn't the talk of the town.
Listening to what gamers have wanted, because we would have told you we were sick of hero shooters like a decade ago, though this is their
I don't believe we're sick of hero shooters. I think good hero shooters are always going to have an audience. Again, literally, Overwatch came out and everyone was like, well, hero shooters are dead because Overwatch is going to forever be the king and queen of the genre. And then Marvel Rivals comes out, and there you go. And actually, technically, we also have Deadlock, which is a hero shooter. Well, it's a little bit different, but you get the point. Deadlock, by the way, has like something like 100k concurrent players daily, and it is insane. We're not talking about the big G, because Deadlock technically has not come out. And if it's in beta and it's averaging like 100k players a day, dude, when it comes out, it's gonna be big.
Response is, ooh, you are toxic for criticizing it while their player counts are dropping. This did happen a couple of days ago. I still wanted to quickly reference it before we get into the new updated numbers for this dead on arrival game. But they say they think the game as it is right now is super fun, super honed for 3v3, even though they did just add 5v5 and it is permanent. To this end, later asked by Jason Schreier as to whether he regretted announcing Highguard at the Game Awards instead of Shadow dropping as they'd originally planned, he admitted that at the end of the day he was unable to give a direct answer as he was still mulling over the entire situation, telling his host, "That's an incredibly fair question and one that I asked."
By the way, how easy was it to at least make a Highguard not like an absolute mockery in the eyes of gamers? Well, it was as easy as make every character look like her. Okay? Whatever the fuck this is, I want it, and I want it now. And everyone, most people want it, okay? Because it looks good.
Correct answer as he was still mulling over the entire situation, telling his host, "That's an incredibly fair question and one that I ask myself quite a bit." And they say that the toxicity is challenging, and it's debatable whether they would have had more or less of the same by doing the Game Awards. I don't know, maybe we'll never know the
Constructive feedback, aka less woke, more game, less politics, more action, is toxic, man. We do live in a society, okay? I mean, we live in a society where some people actually believe that Fallout is a critique of capitalism because of the game, because of the TV show. I hate life so. It's just, it doesn't get better for some reason.
answer to that, but I think that's an angle that has been considered going forward for anybody in game development, which is just wild to me because of course you want your game shown to as many people as possible because that means more people would buy it or play it. But the thing is that so many people day one gave it a shot because of the controversy, because you guys went quiet for several weeks leading up to release.
True.
That was actually a very good marketing strategy looking back on it. But the problem, right, is that your game sucks so much that it couldn't keep those 100,000 people around. None of the streamers who were paid to play it have gone back to it or have talked positively about it, and none of the players who gave it a shot are clearly going back, as right now in game, there's 6.
I think Old Man Summit said something good about Highguard and then never played it again. But I mean, he's delusional because he's old, okay? He's like 50 or something. That's ancient in internet years.
1,256, which hey, isn't zero, but when you compare that to the 97,000 all-time peak.
And again, I said I did a video on this previously. I think this game is being botted by the developers because These graphs make no absolute sense. And furthermore, there are people who play this game and are complaining about not being able to get matched, even though even 6K players is something that should get you pretty fast matches.
I mean, that is a horrendous drop. That is not a good look. And a few days ago, when they added the 5v5, it did.
Oh, and now this even looks stranger. But I think it's because again, it's just bots. So we looked at this game when it looked like this. There were 3 bumps, which is consistent literally with fucking nothing. And now the middle bump is out, which, by the way, is just more confirmation that this is botting, because the middle bump should be the actual player base. And it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller until the point it doesn't exist.
Get a little bit of an uptick. It went to 15,000, but you're not able to keep a free to play game around with 6,000 players. That's just not going to happen. It would be one thing if it was a $40 entry fee and people were not refunding and you got to keep some of that money.
Well, to be fair, if it depends on the free to play game, right? If this was, for example, a tower defense free to play game, ooh, the developers would be fucking ecstatic. If this was some kind, I don't know, an AFK game, the developers would be ecstatic to have 6K people because you would be able to keep it around. But since this is a game that requires extreme active development, yeah, it's toast.
But where it's free, you need people to swipe their credit cards on microtransactions, and if nobody's in game, that's just not happening. And it's just a really pathetic situation all around that these developers just will not admit their faults and not admit their problems and not admit that they just created a bad game. I would have way more respect for them if their game sucked, but they came out and then made a statement like, hey, listen, it's not for everybody. It didn't quite land the way we thought. We're going to do better in the future. At least show a little bit of respect for people, but that isn't the case. And well, clearly people just didn't like this game. It's not because of toxicity or hatred. The reason why companies put out teasers and trailers is for people to judge them. Yes, they want you to judge them and respond positively to them, but you also have to accept the fact that when you're selling a product, there are going to be people who do not like it. The Steam scores have gone up a little bit, actually, over the past couple of days. I think simply because there are less people playing it, and the people who are still around are enjoying it in some way, shape, or form, so they're
Yeah, we have talked about this before. This happens always.
leaving the positives.
But then it's gonna go down sooner or later because all of the new players are gonna who find it are gonna be like, nope, nope, I was desperate, but this ain't it.
But it's at a mixed on Steam. All language, total of 36,211 reviews, but it's not much better over on Metacritic. It's sitting at a 2.4, which is terrible, but it's not
Wait,
much.
are we not gonna read that? Because this looks interesting. I really didn't want to dislike the game. So you have an inherent bias because you want to like the game and you still end up disliking the game. That tells a big story. Dude, honestly, just commenting something like that, something that's like, oh, I have an inherent bias to like the game because the people disliking this game are evil, but I still could not like the game, is like the last nail in the coffin. You know there's no returning after that. I really didn't want to dislike this game, and I genuinely had some hopes for it. After a few hours of playing, though, it feels like the game could really benefit from honest, constructive criticism. Ooh!
11 reviews, but it's not much better over on Metacritic. It's sitting at a 2.4, which is terrible.
Well, Diablo 4 is sitting at a 0 point something.
All around, and I can't say I feel all that bad for this team when they are creating a product that people haven't been asking for in years. And
You know what we actually need to do? We need to make a video about the developers who made Highguard. Because I have a feeling that those devs are as vogue and as activist as Donsley gets.
Another funny element to this is how much the media has shilled for them, how much the media has defended them. I mean, I know Nathan Grayson over at
The legacy media that literally no longer matters even a slight a bit because everyone knows they lie. Like, the media shilling for you nowadays is pretty much the worst thing that could happen. Honestly, not companies, but games need to pay legacy media to not write positive articles about them because people will mock it. Because people will relentlessly mock them. Because one of the biggest current ways to know that something is bad is just to look at what IGN is recommending. Because IGN is gonna recommend you trash, okay?
Aftermath had also written like a hit piece on the toxic chuds who were criticizing it and used my videos as an example.
That's me!
I'll link that video down below if you want to go and take a look at it. But the media is saying this game has something good going for it. It's fun. If you think it looks cool, don't let the haters tear you down and don't let the haters dissuade you. And it's just really
I'm a hater and I do not approve of that message.
sad that it's gotten to this point with this game. Some screenshots have been circulating about the game. Jay Viper had said Highguard is so unpopular that there are currently 0 people watching it on Twitch. And no, it's not a bug.
Wow.
Other games show viewers, she's dead, Jim, and no one cares. It's also number 525 bestseller on Steam on the 5th page of the bestsellers on the PlayStation Store. So definitely not a good look. And, well, obviously there are going to be times where that number goes up. There are going to be times where it does stay extremely low, but it still is really pathetic when they did have 97,000 people who said to themselves, I'm at least going to give this a chance. I know I was one of those people. I did play it on release day. I tried to give it a chance.
Why would you? I did not give it even a chance. I am one of those people who does not succumb to the primal instinct of wanting to actually try something because it looks bad. I proud myself on the fact whenever I talk absolutely negatively about a game, I do not buy it. I do not buy it. Because I know it's gonna be bad, okay? I don't. Because believe it or not, you don't need to eat a piece of shit to tell that it's gonna taste bad. I know, ancient knowledge coming right at you. What a great channel, I know. Subscribe for more voodoo wisdom, okay? Such great things like knowing that hot things are painful to the touch. So the Poppin doesn't know that. It is what it is. Anyway. That was Mommy Very Dark. 10 out of 10. Have a nice day. Bye.